Hey man, this is Robbie. I am here back at my shop. We got more material. Gonna make like a second floor right here. So I'm just waiting for the electric guy to come by so I can go ahead and get that started. But kind of starting to look like a place. I'm slowly bringing small things. Most of my junk is gonna be on the second floor over there. So anyways, today I don't have any cars to shoot or cars to go drive around or anything, so I just figured that the last time I did the video we were talking about the difference in names and car parts. So today I decided to go ahead and focus on tools. All right, so let me go ahead and start at the top left. This is a four-way. It's used to take your lug nuts off, and also I guess in some areas it's called a tire iron, and in Japan it's called a juji renchi. Juji, you can say time, 10 o'clock, but the name juji means cross. So if you hear anything that says juji in it, it's either something that has to do with 10 o'clock or something that's with a cross. So this is a crossbar. They also call it a crossbar too. Next, one of these are vinyl tapes here. They're called biniru tape. I learned it as electric tape. So if you ask for electric tape, if you say vinyl tape, it might be easier to get to. I mean, I guess it is vinyl, or it's made of something that's similar to vinyl. So in Japan, they call this a biniru tape. Next, a lot of guys call this the monkey here. And I guess it's not wrong, but I was brought up, you know those red tools, the pipe wrenches they use. They call it pipe wrench in Japan, but they call this the monkey. And any adjustable wrench can be called the monkey wrench, but I guess this is more of a crescent wrench or an adjustable wrench to me. So in Japan, when they say, hey, give me a monkey chodai, it's like, give me monkey, this is what they want. I learned this by the name of Vise Grip, and it actually says Vise Grip on it too. But in Japan, I think it's called the Vise Plier, Vise Plier, and in English, it's just Vise Grip. This guy, I learned this as it being the channel lock, and I guess it's called the slip plier, or there's all kinds of names to it, but I heard there was a channel lock, and I looked it up, and I guess there's a manufacturer called Channel Lock that made these a long time ago, and that name just kind of stuck to it. It's kind of like everybody saying Kleenex instead of tissue. So channel lock, I think in Japan it's called I don't even know what it's called in Japan. Slide plier, Vise lock, Vise, なんだろう? Channel lock. Okay, I guess I have to learn that. And this guy right here, this I always wondered as well, and I never looked it up. This is I guess you call it the wire cutter, but I learned it as it being the Dikes. The name Dikes comes from, if you can see this part here, this part is diagonal and is diagonally cut, so it's called the diagonal cut plier or diagonal cut plier, I believe. And I think electricians just started to call it Dikes for short, but in Japan they usually call it the nipper, I think because you're nipping on things, or the pinchi, maybe because it's pinching things, I don't know. This guy in Japan, I think the both open ends are supposed to be the spanner or renchi, and I guess you have the whole box end or closed end or open end. But this style with both box ends or both closed ends, in Japan they call it the megane. And the word megane means like glasses, eyeglasses. So as you can see, there's two holes on the end, and maybe they just figured that it's kind of like glasses. Well, this is just a normal rivet gun, but I don't even know where it went, but then I have the Rivet tool. And this thing is called the Rivet tool. In Japan, they call it the natta, and natto is nuts, which would be these guys, the riv nuts itself. So they call it the nutter. So they just call it the nutter because these are the nuts and these are the guys that make it go so it's called the nutter. More interesting stuff. Screwdrivers. In Japan, they're both screwdrivers, but they usually just say plus screwdriver or the minus screwdriver. That's it. But I know in the States they call the minus screwdriver the screwdriver, and the plus one is called the Phillips or the Phillips head screwdriver. But I guess some dude named Henry Phillips or something had bought the rights to this shaped screws and screwdrivers or something. And I guess the name comes from his last name, Phillips. So they call it the Phillips screwdriver. And here's another one. This is a grinder. In Japan, they also call it the grinder too, but some people call it the sander. So I get why they call it the sander, because you can carve things with it. But I know in the States, the sander is more of a, those rotating, like a belt sander type of thing are usually called sanders, I think. These are jack stands, and people can call it the jack stand, and they'll know what a jack stand is. But in Japan, they also call it the uma, and uma means horse. And I don't know if they got the name from an actual horse, but I guess anything that has 4 legs that holds things up, I guess an old school way to call it is a uma. Something that props something up and keeps it up, they can call it the uma. And I think they call it the rigid rack too. So you can call it the rigid rack or jack stand or uma. All right, so those are just a few things that came to my mind when I was just going through the tools and thinking that I could just make this video. Hopefully it was a little educational, and hope you guys liked it. Don't forget to subscribe and also hit the like button, please. But make sure that everybody stays safe and stays home. Work on your projects, the unfinished projects that you have in your closet or wherever inside your garage. Just work on that. Don't worry about going outside. We all know that we're all going to get over this one day, and once we do, we're all going to be drifting and having a great time outside there. So until then, save your energy. Until I see you guys next time, peace out.